So welcome for Center for Social Dialogue andi. Center for Social Dialogue ఇది 101వ సెషన్. సక్సెస్ఫుల్ గా 100 సెషన్స్ కంప్లీట్ చేసుకొని ఇక 101 నుంచి మనం స్టార్ట్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఇవాళ అంటే యాక్చువల్గా సెంటర్ ఫర్ సోషల్ డైలాగ్ గురించి ఒక 2 minutes చెప్తాను. ఇట్స్ అన్ ఓపెన్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ వేర్ ఎనీ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ఐడియా without any ideological restrictions can be discussed. It's an open platform. మేము ఎవరము కూడా ఇందులో పార్టిసిపేట్ చేసే వాళ్ళం ఎవరు కూడా మాకంటూ ఐడియాలజీ లేదు అని చెప్పాం. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం ఐడియాలజికల్ పర్సెప్షన్స్ అనేవి మాట్లాడుకోవడానికి ఇబ్బంది కాకూడదు, అవి అడ్డంకి కాదు అని నమ్ముతున్నాం. అయితే మాట్లాడుకోవడం అనే దాని మీద కూడా కొన్ని ఐడియాస్ ఉన్నాయి మాకు. ముఖ్యంగా దాంట్లో ఉన్న ప్రైమరీ ఐడియా ఏంటంటే ఆర్టికల్ 19 ఆఫ్ ది ఇండియన్ కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ ప్రొవైడ్స్ అస్ ది రైట్ టు ఫ్రీడమ్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్. అంటే రైట్ టు ఫ్రీడమ్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ ఈస్ దేర్ ఇన్ ఆర్టికల్ 19 ఆఫ్ ది ఇండియన్ కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్, అండ్ అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం దేర్ ఆర్ సర్టన్ రిస్ట్రిక్షన్స్ ఆన్ రైట్ టు ఫ్రీడమ్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ subject to certain law, subject to certain conditions laid down within the article 19. సో మన డైలాగ్ అనేది, మన మాటలు అనేవి ప్రొవోకేటివ్ గా ఉండకూడదు, అవి సమస్యల్ని రిజాల్వ్ చేసేలాగా ఉండాలి కానీ సమస్యలను మరింత పెంచేదిగా ఉండకూడదు. ఇది బేసిక్ ఐడియా ఆఫ్ సెంటర్ ఫర్ సోషల్ డైలాగ్. తర్వాత విభిన్న అభిప్రాయాలు ఉన్నా సరే మనం కలుసుకోగలం, మాట్లాడుకోగలం, మాటలు చెప్పుకోగలం. ఇది ఇంకొక ఐడియా ఆఫ్ సెంటర్ ఫర్ సోషల్ డైలాగ్. సో విత్ దిస్ few words I welcome all of you for this 101st session of the Center for Social Dialogue. మీలో కూడా ఇంకా ఎవరైనా సరే వేరే టాపిక్స్ మీద మాట్లాడాలని కోరుకున్నా లేదా అలాంటి టాపిక్స్ నేను సమాజంతో షేర్ చేసుకోవాలనుకున్నా సరే we welcome అండి. We welcome everybody to share their ideas. అట్లాగే ఇవాళ మనం ఈ 101st సెషన్లో we have invited Professor V. Balamohan Das garu to deliver a talk on role of private universities in higher education, apprehensions about cost and quality. ఉన్నత విద్యలో ప్రైవేట్ యూనివర్సిటీల పాత్ర, అందుబాటు, నాణ్యతల పట్ల అపోహలు. ఇది ఎందుకు ఈ టాపిక్ అంటే గత దాదాపు ఒక డికేడ్ ఆర్ 2 decades గా కొన్ని గవర్నమెంట్ పాలసీ డెసిషన్స్ వల్ల అనేక ప్రైవేట్ యూనివర్సిటీస్ వచ్చాయి. సో ప్రజల్లో అనేక రకాల అప్రహెన్షన్స్ వీటి మీద ఉన్నాయి. వాటన్నిటి గురించి డిస్కస్ చేసుకోవడానికి మనం ఇవాళ అనుకున్నాము. అలాగే ఒక అడ్వకేట్ గా కూడా మేము కొన్ని సర్వీస్ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసే అడ్వకేట్స్ గా వీఆర్ రెగ్యులర్లీ ఫైండింగ్ ఇన్ కోర్ట్స్ ఆఫ్ లా hundreds of cases where people have become have chosen to pursue certain courses in the private universities or even certain universities, extension centers, but ultimately their educational qualifications were not recognized for the purpose of promotion and other service benefits. So ఇవంతా కూడా చాలా కాన్ఫ్లిక్ట్ ఏరియాగా ఉంది. కొన్ని లక్షల మంది కొన్ని కోట్ల రూపాయలు స్పెండ్ చేశారు. Ultimately they are suffering a lot in the courts of law for seeking recognition. సో ఇవన్నీ సమస్యలు దృష్టిలో పెట్టుకుని ప్రొఫెసర్ బాలమోహన్ దాస్ గారిని దాదాపు 2 నెలలుగా అడుగుతున్నాను ఈ టాపిక్ మీద మాట్లాడమని చెప్పేసి. సో ప్రొఫెసర్ బాలమోహన్ దాస్ గారి గురించి ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేయమని, తర్వాత టాపిక్ ని ఫర్దర్ గా తీసుకెళ్ళమని చెప్పేసి డాక్టర్ కేవీఎస్ గారిని ఇన్వైట్ చేస్తున్నాను. డాక్టర్ కేవీఎస్ గారు ప్రొఫెసర్ బాలమోహన్ దాస్ గారిని ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేసి ఫర్దర్ గా మోడరేట్ చేయండి సెషన్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
నమస్తే సార్. నమస్తే ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ. మాస్టర్ కి 5.5 దశాబ్దాలుగా ఈ యూనివర్సిటీ చరిత్రతోటి సత్సంబంధాలు ఉన్నాయి. మాస్టర్ ఇన్వాల్వ్మెంట్ ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే అండి, ఏ చిన్న టాపిక్ని కూడా ఆయన చిన్నగా తీసుకోరండి. మీ ఈ లెక్చర్ ఇవ్వటానికి ఆయనకున్న అనుభవం ఒక 2 నిమిషాల్లో ఎటువంటి ఒక 5 గంటల పైగా స్పీచ్ ఇవ్వగలరు. కానీ ప్రతి పాయింట్ కూడా నోట్ చేసుకుని ఏది చెప్పాలి ఏది చెప్పకూడదని ఆయన చాలా తాపత్రయపడితే ఆయన కాళ్ళ దండం పెట్టడం కనుక ఏం చేయలేనండి. 5.5 దశాబ్దాలు దీని మీద పూర్తి ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఉంది. అనేక యూనివర్సిటీస్కి ఆయన క్రెడెన్షియల్స్ ఇవ్వడానికి, రికగ్నిషన్ ఇవ్వడానికి వెళ్ళి దాంట్లో లోటుపాట్లు యాజ్ ఎ వైస్ ఛాన్సలర్గా, యాజ్ ఎ ప్రిన్సిపాల్గా ఆయనకున్న అనుభవాన్ని అంతా రంగరించి చెప్పడానికి ముందుకు వచ్చినందుకు మనకి ఇది ఎంతో చాలా ఉపయోగకరంగా ఉంటుందండి. ఆయన చెప్పేది మేము రోజు మాట్లాడే విషయాల్లో కూడా సార్ చెప్తుంటారు. ప్రైవేటైజేషన్ ఎంతవరకు అవసరం, ఎంతవరకు అవసరం లేదు, చాలా కూలంకుషంగా చర్చిస్తారండి వాళ్ళ సారు. తర్వాత మనం ఎందుకు వెల్కమ్ చేయాలంటే అండి, మాస్టారు చాలా చిన్న వయసులోనే ప్రొఫెసర్ అయ్యారు. హీ వాజ్ ద సీనియర్ మోస్ట్ ప్రొఫెసర్ ఇన్ ఇండియా. చాలా చిన్న వయసులో. తర్వాత ఒక్క ఎకనామిక్సో లేకపోతే కామర్సో లేకపోతే కమర్షియల్ ఆస్పెక్ట్సో కాకుండా సోషల్, రిలీజియస్ అండ్ ఈకలాజికల్ ఆల్ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ని రంగరించి ఆయన మొదట్లో ఉంచుకుని ఏదైనా మాట్లాడతారు. కాబట్టి ఐ వెల్కమ్ దాస్ మాస్టారు టు ఎడ్యుకేట్ us ఆన్ దిస్ ఆస్పెక్ట్ అండ్ రిమూవ్ ఆల్ అప్రహెన్షన్స్ ఆల్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ హ్యావింగ్. నాది ఇక్కడ ఫోటో రావట్లేదు సార్, ఐఎమ్ సారీ, ఐఎమ్ నాట్ విజిబుల్ టు యూ, బట్ ఐ హోప్ ఐఎమ్ ఆడిబుల్. థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
మేము మిమ్మల్ని ఆకాశవాణి అనుకుంటున్నాం సార్, ఆకాశవాణి.
ఎందుకంటే నాకు సెల్ ఫోన్ లో వచ్చిన డిస్టర్బెన్స్ వచ్చింది సార్. జాయిన్ ఇన్ ల్యాప్టాప్, ఇట్స్ నాట్ షోయింగ్ మై ఇమేజ్ దేర్.
అంటే ఆకాశవాణి అసత్యం చెప్పాలి సార్. ఇంకా
ఓకే సార్. మాస్టర్ది ఇవాళ నేను తరిస్తాను ఆయన మాస్టర్ స్పీచ్ విని. అండ్ ఐ థింక్ ఆల్ అప్రహెన్షన్స్ అబౌట్ ప్రైవేట్ యూనివర్సిటీస్, all apprehensions about the education system, he is there, he is a pioneer in this. He can educate us better than anybody. I hope that he delivers a speech in such a way that we all be educated and all apprehensions at one shot will go away. Thank you, sir. I welcome sir to deliver his speech with all humbleness.
Thank you, Dr. Murthy Garu, for nice introduction. I always consider it is a privilege for me to participate or speak in Center for Social Dialogue, founded by our good friend. I call him as now Swami Dr. Avadhanam Raghukumar. From the last meeting onwards, I thought I should call him as a Swami, because he can be compared to Swami Vivekananda. We have not seen Vivekananda, but then the same type of temperament is available with Dr. Avadhanam Raghukumar. It is true that he has asked me to speak on the role of private sector in higher education for the last 2 months. I was little confused. What is my clear opinion on private universities? So I made a lot of efforts and then crystallized what I wanted to speak today, whether it is for or against, or a comprehensive explanation, whether it is for or against, to be decided by yourself. Dr. Murthy Garu has introduced me that I have been in the university system in India for the last 55 years. I joined my service at Andhra University where I was just 20, and luckily I became a professor at 31, because I had the privilege of being youngest professor of India in all disciplines in the university system, becoming a professor in 1978. Because of that, probably I had occupied many positions at Andhra University, including the in-charge Vice-Chancellor position, and became a Vice-Chancellor at Nagarjuna University, thanks to the recognition given by the then state government led by Dr. Y.S. Rajasekhar Reddy. And I have been the 13th Vice-Chancellor of Acharya Nagarjuna University. I have set up lots of traditions distinct from the earlier Vice-Chancellors, because I wanted to implement whatever I have learned, the good things from 9 Vice-Chancellors of Andhra University who were Vice-Chancellor during my student days and my teacher days. And ever since I retired from Acharya Nagarjuna University as Vice-Chancellor in 2008, this is already 15 years. 15 years ago, I retired as a Vice-Chancellor, and I was honorary professor at Andhra University for 2 years, and 2 years UGC Emeritus Professor, and 2 years AACT Emeritus Professor. And I didn't keep quiet. I retired, but not tired. So I'm active in social service and academic service, and even Swachh Bharat activities of Vizag city as such. Thank you, friends, for making me to speak today. I just want to say that apart from Andhra University, Acharya Nagarjuna University, luckily I had interaction with about almost 150 universities in India and abroad. And some of the universities have been the private universities also. For example, Geetham University, the private deemed university, I was on its board of management for 7 years. Right now, I continue to be the board of management member of KL University at Vadeswaram, Guntur. I was chairperson or co-chairperson for peer team of the NAC at the national level for quality accreditation for Symbiosis University, Amity University, Modi University at Lakshmanpur, and then Manav Rachana University. I had occasion to speak to faculty at Savita University, Chennai, Christ University, Bangalore, Centurion University at Vijayanagaram, ICFA University in Hyderabad, D.Y. Patil University at Navi Mumbai, ITM Mumbai, ITM Gwalior, and some, I think I have friends, I told you, some of my student friends, some of my colleagues also have become vice chancellors of some of the private universities. As part of this, but I want to tell before starting my views on this, my education expenditure, because Raghukumar Garu has said cost and quality. My expenditure, my education expenditure on higher education and total education was about only 10,000 rupees, only 10,000 rupees. And out of this, I got 90% as scholarship for my merit at the government of Andhra Pradesh at my graduate level. So I think almost 90% has been recovered by me by my, I think, merit at the degree level. But my son was, I think I had my primary education and college education in the private colleges, but then got into the university system, public university system, state university. But my son did his, I think his 12th class in a private school run by the government, in a private, recognized and assisted by government. And then in Andhra University, his BTech and MTech, his total expenditure also was not more than 20,000 rupees. And out of these 20,000 rupees, he got the merit scholarship of 80%. But when it came to my granddaughter to do her MBA, education at primary level, secondary level, degree level, and everything was a private university, private education. And she had to spend 5 lakhs for her BBM course and 8 lakhs for her MBA in private universities. This is about the cost. Now, all of us know Takshashila University, 500 BCE, which was a Brahminical seat of learning, started in a city called Taksha by King Bharata. You know about Ramayana. The teachers there was Panini, Chanakya, Kumaralata, and then there were students from different sectors, King Pasanadi of Kosala, Vishnu Sharma, who wrote Panchatantram, then Bandhala, commentary king of the commander of king of army, then Angulimala, a close follower of Buddha, Jivaka, Rajagraha, state doctor and personal doctor of Buddha, Charaka, the father of Indian medicine, Chandragupta Maurya. Chandragupta was, you know, very well about him. And this is how things have happened in Takshashila University, 500 before Christ. And after Christ, you know pretty well, 5th century, we got the Nalanda University, which lasted for 800 years from 5th to 12th centuries, completely residential, 2,000 teachers and 10,000 students drawn from different countries. And I think Of course, it was destroyed in 1196 by Khaljis, and even Takshashila was destroyed by White Hunts. I think you know pretty well. There's a story that goes around. I just wanted to make a mention, and fortunately for us, President Abdul Kalam mooted the idea of reviving Nalanda University. Nalanda University Act passed in 2010. It was started as a central university and as a regional network university with member countries from India, Laos, Vietnam, Thailand, then Sri Lanka, Singapore, Portugal, New Zealand, Myanmar, Indonesia, China, Cambodia, South Korea, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Australia, Brunei, Mauritius. All these countries are part of Nalanda University right now, that is run on Central University. If you look to the history of the universities in India, I think the first university status came to Calcutta in 1857, followed by Bombay in the same year, Madras in the same year, Aligarh Muslim University in 1875, Punjab University in 1882, University of Allahabad in 1887, Benares Hindu University in 1916, University of Mysore 1916, Usmania University, now in Telangana 1918, Andhra University 1926. I think we'll be completing 100 years in 2026. Venkateswara University in 1954, and my own Nagarjuna University in 1976. Before I take up the pros and cons of private universities, I want to give you this current statistics on higher education as on November 2022. We have a total of, and all these universities are recognized by University Grants Commission. University Grants Commission has a provision of recognition of institutions under what is called 12B of the UGC. If they are recognized under 12B of the UGC, all such institutions will get, I think, funds, assistance from UGC also. Our central universities as of November 22 are 54. All the 54 are recognized under 12B. State universities, we have 443. But out of these 443, I want to tell you, only 259 universities are recognized under 12B. There are, in private sector units, private universities are again two types. One is deemed to be university, and the second is private university. Deemed to be university is a university recognized as a private deemed to be university by UGC itself, when the application has been forwarded by the sponsoring agency through the government, state government, concerned government. But private universities are universities established under special private universities acts of the state government. You know pretty well, higher education and education comes under the concurrent list under Constitution, where central government and state governments have an equally responsible role to play. And deemed to be universities, right now, we have 127 deemed to be universities, out of whom only 49 are recognized under 12B of the UGC eligible for assistance. And private universities, we have today 430 universities, but only 25 universities are listed for getting assistance under UGC 12B program. So if you look at this, today we have a total of 1,070 universities in India, and central universities and state universities are in the public sector, government sector. They number together 513, whereas the private universities consisting of deemed to be universities and private universities number 557. So 513 and 557. So today, in terms of the number, the private universities dominate the higher education scene in this country. And I think if you look at these private universities located in all the 26 of the 28 states, out of the 28 states we have, in all the 26 states, you have these private universities, both deemed and private universities. But all the 8 union territories, I think there is no deemed to be university, there is no private university as of today in the union territories as such. And I want to tell you 17 universities out of the total universities in this country are exclusively for women, both in state sector and private sector. And 43% of universities and 61.4% of colleges are located in rural areas. So I think in terms of colleges, more, but in terms of universities, focus is mostly on urban universities area. And Gujarat has the largest number of private universities with 60 universities. 60 universities are located, private universities in Gujarat. Tamil Nadu, the largest number of deemed universities with 28. West Bengal is the largest number of state universities with 37. Delhi is the largest number of central universities, seven central universities out of the 54 are located in Delhi only. Now this is the national status. Let's just look at what is happening in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, because I am interested in combined state of Andhra Pradesh. In Andhra Pradesh, there are 3 central universities, 25 state universities. Deemed to be universities are 4: Geetam, KL University, Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, and Vigyan Foundation for Science, Technology, and Research at Guntur. These are all the 4 deemed to be universities. There are 6 private universities: Kriya University in Sri City in 2018, SRM University in Amaravati in 2017, VIT AP Amaravati 2017, Centurion University 2017, BEST Best Innovative University at Anantapur 2019, Mohan Babu University in Tirupati in 2022. Here I want to tell, I think universities are ranked as to the quality based on their rankings. There's some criteria. Based on the NRI, National Institutional ranks are given by the government. And the government gave for Andhra Pradesh top 6 NIRF rankings in 2022. KL University Vaddeswaram got 27 ranking. Andhra University Visakhapatnam got 36. SV University Tirupati got 67. Geetam University Visakhapatnam got 92. Vigyan Foundation Guntur got 95. JNTU Kakinada, the next at 98 or 99. So if you look at the top 6 ranks of National Institute of Ranking finds of both public and private universities, of the 6 I told you, 3 are in private sector. One is KL University, Geetam University, and Vigyan Foundation. So 3 deemed universities got highest rankings when compared to other state. 25 state universities are there, but they are not in the highest rank. When you come to Telangana, there are 3 central universities, 17 state universities, deemed to be universities only 3: Chaitanya, ICFI, and International Institute of Information Technology. There are private universities 5: Anurag University, Mahindra University, then Mallareddy University, SR University, Woxen University in Jubilee Hills. These are the 5 universities. So total there are 28 universities in Telangana, and in Andhra Pradesh we have 38 universities. So Andhra Pradesh is topping the higher education in terms of the number of universities. And in NRIF ranks, if you look at the top 8 in 2022, I will give you University of Hyderabad 10th rank, Usmania University 22 rank, Anurag University 104, English and Foreign Language Central University 113, International Institute of Information Technology 119, Kakatiya University 122, SR University Warangal 142, ICFI Foundation 163. If you look at these, 4 are public, 4 are private. So in Telangana, I think equally both public and private sectors are being declared as qualified institutions. And in AP, universities and private universities are governed by AP Private Universities Act of 2016. I think in Telangana, in 2018, the concerned Private Universities Act was adopted on the floor of Assembly, and it was amended in 2022. The amendment came in 2022 for relaxing a condition that was there in 2018 Act. I want to tell you that I think there was a proposal of Amity University being located in GMR owned, right now GMR owned Aero City in the airport area. And the GMR Aero City belongs, ownership will lie with GMR until 2068. The act said private universities will be allowed when they own land, or if they have a leased land of 25 acres in urban areas, and an area of 25 acres has been earmarked and identified. But GMR cannot give, I think, lease for 90 years. So I think the amendment ultimately has to be made by government in 2022. And I think they have made it now. I think sometime later, the university will come there. I think with Amity University and GMR space, I don't know what name they are going to have shortly in Aero City. And if you look at the institutes of eminent schemes, I think you know pretty well, in education sector, Government of India had lots of commissions and committees. I think I always say the committees have been Niagara, like Niagara, but the action has been Sahara. So no action on the committee recommendations. But whatever it is, some committee recommended institution of eminence categorization by Government of India through UGC, and helping such institutions with autonomy in private sector and some financial assistance to state and central universities. So accordingly, this act has come, this particular scheme has come in 2017, and 20 institutions of higher education, 10 public and 10 private have been identified. So even institution of eminence also, government is not making any difference in respect of, I think funding they are making different, but in categorizing the institutions. In public universities, Chennai, Banaras Hindu University, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Madras, Jadavpur University, University of Delhi, University of Hyderabad. In private universities, Amrita Vishwavidyalaya, BITS Pilani, Jamia Hamdard, Geo Institute Greenfield. Geo Institute is a greenfield university, not yet taken good shape, but they declared this as institution of eminence. Then Manipal Academy of Higher Education, OP Jindal Global University, Satya Bharati University, Greenfield University, Kalinga Institute of Technology, then Shivanadar University, Vellore Institute of Technology. So these are the 10 in the private sector. Now let us come to the core discussion that I wanted to take it up. Universities are temples of higher learning. It was in 1947, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the then Prime Minister, at the Allahabad University convocation, they said what a university is. He said, a university stands for humanism, for tolerance, for reason, for adventure of ideas, and for the search of truth. It stands for the onward march of the human race towards ever higher objectives. I want to tell you, I think at Nagarjuna University, I have created a very big emblem with this quotation. At Andhra University, in our Executive Council Hall, this has been depicted. Every day we see this quotation at Andhra University. Then before partition and after independence, for some time, the performance of many of our universities was very good in respect of central universities and state universities. But for several reasons, all of us know the present state of affairs of several universities, both at center and state level. There are no teacher appointments. For the last, I want to tell you, I had made recruitment in Nagarjuna University. The last recruitment I made is in 2006. Since then, from 17 years, there is no permanent recruitment as such today. Same is case with Andhra University. Same is with several universities in India, not necessarily in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. People say that there is political interference in different activities of the universities. Luckily for us, during our tenure in 2005-8, I never faced any political interference. I had full freedom to do whatever is best for the university. But same is not the case with today, and there are lots of problems as such. And that is where we find the discussion, as Rav Kumar Garu said, that we need to have discussed. Any university, whether it's private university or public university, has to be judged on particular criteria. And those things will be known to us if you look at the university, how you look at, I think those of you who have knowledge in management subject know pretty well. There is what is called McKinsey's 7S framework used by Thomas Peter in Search of Excellence, a good book. What he says is, what is important: structure, systems, strategy, skills, staff, style, and shared values. These are the 7 things in any institution. These are the things that are going to determine the plus point or minus points or success or failure. Structure, systems, strategy, style, staff, skills, and shared values. So we have to look at whether it is private university or public university based on this. I have also listed what are the different aspects we should look at it. Access, affordability, quality, accountability, delivery. These are the good pillars of education, whether it is higher education or I think primary or secondary education. Then campus infrastructure and ambience, and courses relevant to the macro and micro regions. Then adequacy and quality of the faculty, commitment of the supporting staff, financial resources at the disposal of the university, support from the state and central governments and also UGC, interpersonal relations among various stakeholders. If they have affiliated colleges, how the affiliated colleges are functioning. Then industry interface. Interface with industry is more important. Interface with the society also is more important. Then research, publications and consultancy. Then strength of academic bodies, all academic bodies, you have the Executive Council, Academic Senate, Planning and Monitoring Board, lots of committees should be there. So how they are functioning and what is their strength. Then extension activities. I always say university should always be concerned. It's not within the four walls of the university. It is the city where it is located, and the society around the university also is important. Then fundraising and friend-raising. Then learner-centered students. Then discipline among all stakeholders. Then innovative approach. Then role of alumni, role of parents. Then linkage with sister universities. What is your linkage with sister universities? Then systematic evaluation procedures. Then quality consciousness, moral education, following the best practices of other universities. I think in all way, I always said universities have to have a hybrid consumer, a centaur, half human and half horse, running with the rapid feet of the new technology, yet carrying the same ancient human heart. So academic leadership of the Vice-Chancellor is also more important, because the Vice-Chancellor is the person who represents the university at different platforms, and he should be an able person, and a Vice-Chancellor should never have vices. Vice-Chancellor, in between you find a dash. That dash means Chancellor minus Vice-Chancellor is Vice-Chancellor. So if you look at all these, then only you can categorize whether a university is good or bad. Talking about private universities, I think as Raukumar Garu has already pointed out that there are lots of court cases going on even today in some of the high courts and other courts. Chhattisgarh Private Universities Act of 2002. This is the very landmark Private Universities Act, which has been brought out by the then Congress Party CM Ajit Jogi. He said higher education is the right of every citizen, and we offer this, no conditions. If you look at the addresses of the, I think, private universities which have been given permission under the Chhattisgarh Private Universities Act, there were as many as 112 universities have been permitted under this act. I think having an office in Chhattisgarh, Raipur, and locating wherever they want to locate their colleges, they can do so. So like that, 112 universities have been permitted under this act within a period of 1 year, less than 1 year. And fortunately for us, I think the Professor Yashpal, an eminent scientist, and that time he was the former chairman of University Grants Commission, he filed a public interest litigation under Article 32 in Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, I think, gave its judgment on 11th February 2005, and the Supreme Court bench consisted of Chief Justice R.C. Lahoti, then Justice G.P. Mathur, and Justice P.K. Balasubramanian. I think a landslide judgment which has prohibited, I think, the Chhattisgarh Private Universities Act of 2020. It struck down completely. And in between, what has happened, Ajit Jogi government was superseded by BJP Raman government. And before the court decided this, they brought out some relaxations. They said some conditions also have been said, approval of UGC and approval of other governments is also necessary. and approval of medical council, bar council are necessary. Professionals. So in this country, there are 15 national level subject bodies like medical council, bar council, pharmacy council. So they have to get the approval from those agencies also under AICTE also. But that also was struck down. Ultimately, the act came, there was rapid growth of private universities suddenly in a 1 year time, and thanks to this act. But then, luckily for us, God saved these private universities sporadic growth by Supreme Court decision. Then in between these two, the appeal and the Supreme Court decision, in 2003, University Grants Commission woke up and they came out with some regulations in 2003. They said each private university shall be established by a separate state act. A private university shall be a unitary university having adequate facilities for teaching, research, and extension services. Any private university started functioning before these regulations shall adhere to these regulations within 3 months. A private university shall operate ordinarily with the boundaries concerned. In exceptional cases, off-campus centers, study centers, and offshore campuses may be allowed after satisfying completion of 5 years of their coming into existence with prior approval of UGC. And UGC will cause periodic inspection from time to time. So this is the regulation that have been clearly mentioned in 2003 in between the act of Chhattisgarh and striking down by Supreme Court. And this recently in 2022-23, UGC gave some additional guidelines for private sectors also. They said some universities are running offshore centers without, and also franchising centers without our permission. So they should also fall in line. And the distance education courses will be valid only when they are cleared by Distance Education Bureau of UGC. And no objection certificate from the concerned state government is a must. So these are the additional guidelines that UGC came up with in 2022. And I just mentioned about the AP Universities Act and Telangana Universities Act, and they, along with the act, they give some norms, and according to the norms, following the norms, the private universities are allowed. But ranking wise, if you look at, unfortunately, in this QS World University Rankings, none of our universities, whether private or public, they don't figure, unfortunately, in the first 1,000. In only recently, 1 or 2 universities are coming up, like the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, that's coming up. And this quality ranking of our people, our so-called leaders, we also as consumers say that our universities, whether public or private, are not coming up in quality QS World University rankings. But if you look at the criteria for being considered for ranking under this, academic peer review 40%, faculty student ratio 20%, citation per faculty 20%, employer reputation 10%, international student ratio 5%, international staff ratio 5%. Do we have? If you look at these criteria, I think the faculty student ratio is at a very, I think 1:20 they consider. In some cases in our country, 1:120, 1:200, like that. Then employer reputation, international students, very few countries, universities are there from international students. International staff faculty, we don't have by any of the faculty, at least in some of the universities. And luckily for us, quality ranking for the world level is not there, but at least in terms of Indian ranking, we have what is called NIRF rankings. And I have the figures for 2022, 2021, and 2020 also. I want to give you the top 10 universities under this national NIRF ranking. And these rankings also, they take part, I think from 2005 onwards, 2015 onwards, these NIRF rankings are there. And the criteria was teaching, learning, resources, 30% weightage. Research and professional practice, 30%. Graduation outcomes, 20%. Outreach and inclusivity, 10%. Peer perception, 10%. And I'm a peer member in NIRF rank. I also give my opinion on quality rankings. So the NIRF ranking 2022, top 10, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, number 1. Jawaharlal Nehru University, JNU, Delhi, 2nd rank. Jamia Millia Islamia, Delhi, 3rd rank. Jadavpur University, Calcutta, 4. Amrita Vishwavidyalaya, Coimbatore, 5. Benares Hindu University, Varanasi, 6. Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Manipal, 7. Calcutta University, 8. Vellore Institute of Technology, Vellore, 9. University of Hyderabad, 10. We are very happy that University of Hyderabad, which is part of Telangana, located in part of Telangana, is in number 10 rank in NIRF rank. But if you look at the composition of these universities, public and private, I think out of the 10, Amrit Vishwavidyalaya, Coimbatore, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Manipal, and Vellore Institute of Technology, 3 private universities find place in NIRF ranking. And top 10 private universities in India, in terms of, I think UGC has listed based on different criteria. I think NIRF ranking is also taken into different, I think the first 3 are there. Amrita Vishwavidyalaya at Coimbatore, 5. Manipal University, Manipal, 7. VIT Vellore, 9. Then Sikshavo Anusandhan, Bhubaneswar, 16. BITS Pilani, Birla Institute of Technology and Science, 18. SRM University, Chennai, 19. Then KIIT University, that is Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology, Bhubaneswar, 20. Amity University, Noida, 22. Shastra University, Tanjavur, 24. Then SIMARTS, Chennai, Savita Institute of Medical Technical Sciences, 26. So these are the top 10 private universities in respect of NIRF ranking as such. Private university with the largest campus area, I think most probably even this will be the largest university even when you compare private and public universities. GB Pant University, Uttarakhand, it has got a land area of 12,661 acres. 12,661 acres. I know Benares Hindu University has got much land among the public sector units. And the second one, Chaudhary Charan Singh, Haryana Agricultural University, Haryana, they got a land of 8,645. These are the 2 private sector units. Then the best infrastructure private university, our own Telangana, Hyderabad, ISB, Indian School of Business, the best infrastructure they have. Then the second best is Amity University, Noida. Then emerging number 1 private university in India, taking all consideration, emerging number 1 private university in India is Amrita Vishwavidyapitham, multidisciplinary research focused cleanest campus ranked number 1 in the list of the private universities in 2022. Now, I think we are discussing about the Indian private universities. I thought that I should also bring to your kind attention that the best universities from many of the best universities in the United States of America are private universities. They are not state universities. And they tend to be non-profit institutions funded internally through endowments and donations. They have beautiful campuses, amazing faculty resources, then very important traditions. So they are considered as the academic powerhouses. Luckily, I could see 3 or 4 of such universities in United States of America during my visit there. Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Cambridge, then Princeton University, Princeton, California Institute of Technology, California, University of Chicago, Stanford University, Columbia University, Harvard University, University of Pennsylvania, Duke University, Northwestern University, Dartmouth League University, Rice University, Brown University, Vanderbilt University, University of Notre Dame, Cornell University, Johns Hopkins University, Washington University, then Washington and Lee University, then Yale University, Carnegie Mellon University. In fact, Carnegie Mellon University, our own Telugu man, Professor Raja Reddy, is there. I have met him in Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh. I had discussion with him for about 2 hours. He was the chancellor, first chancellor of our RGUKT located in Idupalapaya. Now, this is about the private universities in United States of America coming up with donations and I think contributions, endowments. Now, I want to give you, I think the time is being up. Raghukumar Garu, I want to take another 10 minutes, okay?
Welcome, welcome.
Okay. So the plus points of private universities and the minus points of private universities, I have listed. I don't have time to explain. I will just read out them. Plus points of private universities. Government feels relieved as to the burden of finances, center and state. When the private universities are coming up, their responsibility comes down because unfortunately governments have, I think, delegated the responsibility of education and health to private enterprise in this country. And they feel relieved. The burden of finances is not there because private universities are coming. That is from the government side, plus point. They have professional management. When they consider to public universities, professional management is there definitely. Then competition to, they provide competition to central and state universities today. And state and central universities sometimes have to learn something from these universities too. Then sustaining global competition. They sustain global competition. Earlier, people who were going to other countries for studies, higher education, they are joining private universities. And they have global connectivity. Their interface with the industry is much in private universities. They are innovative and they're also aggressive. And excellent committed full-time faculty. This I can definitely certify. Whenever I attend my board of management meetings at KL University, every meeting we are given new appointments, 100, 120 so. And the state universities, no appointments, only disappointments. So appointments are there in the private universities and disappointments are there in state universities. Then and the excellent committed full-time faculty are very committed people. And they are taking the best retired from the state universities and industry also find place there. Elegant buildings in spacious land. Ultra-modern technology available in labs, classes, and classrooms too. Well-maintained hostels equivalent to, I think, star hotel, lodging and boarding. More employment opportunities, placement and higher packages also. Smaller class size, interactive classes, more professors' time. Excellent monitoring by the faculty. Merit scholarships and concessions in student technology. I think today Hindu carried in somewhere else, convert your fee into free. Fee into free. How can you convert your fee into free? They say that if you get this particular rank, whatever you paid as a fees will be refunded to you. So convert your fee into free. Then students have the same background income level. I think all the students are the same background income, but they pay huge fees. So good lifestyle, offering strong bond, then everlasting connections in the alumni. Students work on new projects, assignments, quizzes, presentations, making the vision clear to achieve academic excellence. Practical hands-on learning and assessment. Flexible study options, mixed online and on campus. Emphasis on industry experience also. Study now, pay later packages. Some universities in private sector have this scheme. Study now, don't pay any fees now, pay later. You can pay later fees also when you get employed. Then more prestige in the eyes of the industry. No student politics. No student politics, no politics at all, whether in the students or faculty or even supporting staff. And discipline among all the stakeholders. Then higher ranks and quality accreditation by NAC and NIRF. If you look at the NAC and NIRF, I think the ranks are many. And minus points of private universities, manipulations of management. Manipulations of management. I will leave it to be, considered in a big way. Only higher income group students have access since fees is very costly. So cost-wise, definitely it is higher, running into lakhs. Lack of diversity among the students. I think in state and central universities, you find, I think the diversity would be there. But if you look at the student backgrounds, sometimes you find caste-based, religion-based, and region-based also you find. Then limited courses based on market demand. Not all, but some universities, I think they concentrate on only on market demand-based courses. And seeking the courses away from the crowd. If any students want to seek courses away from the crowd, they are not available. Then always profit orientation in all aspects, Then governments ignore state universities, apathy to full faculty. I think I find the apathy of the state governments to fill up vacancies is because they want the state universities to come up well. They want the state universities to die. This is my personal feeling. And no guarantee that private university impart quality education. And even in research-wise, they are doing excellent in some cases, but there is also profit orientation seen sometimes. And some major achievements of private universities have been there. Many governments, both in the center and the state governments, have been depending on private universities for some of their consultancy projects. But then, since the time is up, I want to take up, in fact, I suggested to the state government of Andhra Pradesh to go for, instead of private universities, PPP universities, triple P, public-private participation universities. So in terms of land, in terms of resources, both public and private join together and come up with a new type of universities, PPP universities in Andhra Pradesh. and I don't think that they will come up with that. But anyhow, let me see that I wait for their response. And quality, Raghukumar Garu said quality is a concern. We said quality. I always say acronym quality. QUALITY. There are 7 letters. They stand for exclusive meaning. The first Q stands for quest for excellence. You should have quest for excellence. Then you understand the concept. Then A, action orientation. L, everything should be learner-centric approach. Then I, innovative initiatives. The T is technology integration. The Y is year-round activity, not one-day activity, year-round activity. So there are many good universities today. I have listed 20 top preferred universities by foreign students. That is a different topic. But in end conclusion, I want all central and state universities are not good. All private universities are not bad. There are good and bad ones among both. The existence of and the future of the universities, both public and private, will depend upon their functioning and the survival of the fittest principle. I foresee, in the context of the budgetary constraints and the policies of both the federal and state governments, some public universities would become private universities in about 10 years' time. Await also for a big entry of a new type of universities into this country, foreign universities in India. Foreign universities will also come. I think UGC has already drafted model guidelines. They are put up for public scrutiny and suggestions. And ultimately, we may have a few foreign universities also joining the higher education. Thank you, friends. I stop it here and I wait for your comments. And if I can clarify, I will clarify. Otherwise, you can clarify some of my doubts. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dr. KVS Garu.
Namaste, sir. Sir, Balamohan Master has touched all phenomena, that is academic, cultural, consumer-oriented, scientific, social, political, economic, commercial, every aspect on either side. And he latently commented on both sectors. And I personally request all people, because this is a topic that is to be learned, because you are the fathers of grandfathers of certain children, it's your main duty, and you should take it into heart. How you advise? Yesterday, I met a student. He joined in one college and shifted to another college, and I asked him why you shifted. There was no man to advise me where to stay. So parents will take this particular opportunity to guide their children, and the SAR's speech will give an excellent idea about all these things. And under his guidance, I worked a long time with him. With that efficiency, I got certain kind of efficiency, and I got the privilege to work under universities like Amritamai and Jain University, Ravishankar University, Christ University in Bangalore, and they are private universities. But what I found over there is they send a card to the teacher, they collect the teacher, they make the teacher to stay there happily and send him back to his house. And if my wife is also required, they will get my wife also along with me. Such a kind of facility they will give to the teacher. And now that there is a difference between corporate and private, state and private, I'm not taking any kind of extra time, but only thing is I want to request all people, all the participants, ask a question, and I request my sir to explain that question directly instead of accumulating all questions and answering them, because it's a costly topic. So one-to-one approach, I feel better, and I request my sir to clarify the doubts. And I start with my first doubt. Even in corporate or even in private and government, there is self-financing schemes, and indirectly it burdens the government, whether it is a private or whether it is a government school. It burdens all monies, whether it is private or government, as borne by the state only. That is number one. Number two, as Sir said, the appointment of the people, that thing, this thing and all. When we come to certain kind of private universities, instead of giving direct employment, for example, a particular syllabus, if I have to complete 4th semester computer science, for example, I have to teach particular topic. They give the topic and they pay me for the topic. That's all. That may also be another thing. This is my request to sir. I can ask him directly, but before public, if I ask, my question and his answer may throw some light on the topic. That's why I take this opportunity and I dare to ask him, sir, please excuse me. And if he can enlighten us on this topic, I am very much thankful to you.
Thank you, Murthy Garu. I just wanted to touch this also, but for lack of time, I didn't take it up. I have objection for using the word private. Private universities. Why should you call those universities private? What is private? I think before I tell about this, I looked to the meaning of private, Telugu meaning of private. Telugu meaning of private. I find Vyaktigata, Ekanta, Rahasya. Do you mean to say that all private universities are Vyaktigatam, or secret, or Ekantam? Then I looked for the synonymous words of private: personal, confidential, exclusive, independent, individual, secret, separate, special, secluded, closet, inside, privy, solitary, behind the scene, clandestine, discreet. These are the words I find. So I think I propose for from our friends, we should ask the government and UGC also to change the word private universities. I don't know whether it could call them corporate university, if it is a corporation, but it is a coming from a society. I don't know what name we can give government universities or non-government universities. So I want to object the use of the word private also. I don't know whether I answered, Murthy Garu, to some extent at least.
Dr. Manchikanti Srinivas garu hand raise chesaru.
Yeah.
Namaste. Good afternoon to everybody. Balamohan garu, your lecture also is very interesting and very insightful. And I hope I'm audible.
Yeah.
The point you already mentioned. You already mentioned during your lecture that all private are not bad. Definitely, all government also not good. Yeah. Right. That is a point well taken. Now, usually what happens is we have this NRF ranking as a as a measure.
Yeah.
You already mentioned that.
Yeah.
Now people are very discerning nowadays. So they definitely can take a call on which institute their ward would like to seek admission. And if a private university or a private college is profit oriented, or they're in well, profit can also be an important part because they have to generate some revenue and augment the facilities. So some money is also required. For government universities, government is going to help. Now, notwithstanding that point, my only point of concern is it not the discerning ability of the citizens of the country to rely upon NIRF ranking to take a call? And that is well placed and well defined metrics are there for that. So I wish to say that when entire landscape of education, private universities, government education, government colleges, all these fall under NIRF ranking. So this NIRF ranking is an equalizer. So people can take a call accordingly. They can join a private institute or a government institute. I hope you agree with me, sir.
Dr. Srinivas, I definitely agree with you. To some extent, yes. To some extent, yes. And I don't want to give you any instances of how NIRF rankings also are corrupted. In some cases, I know. I think I don't want to give you any names as such. And even in respect of NAC accreditation ranks also. There are institutions, when the institutions came for, probably they hire furniture, they hire equipment, they hire faculty. Such things are there. But overall, definitely given the teaching, learning resources, research and professional practice, graduation outcomes, outreach and inclusivity, peer perception, I think NIRF rankings as of today, I think they give you the broad ranking of the public and private universities. Students or parents can take a call based on that. But I want to caution, give a caution that don't NIRF ranks only. I don't know whether I answered.
Sir, Subbarao garu hand raise, please. You can raise the questions. Sir, let the questions be quite sharper so that the key speaker can address more things. I want instead of let the question be very as sharp as possible.
Yeah, thank you, Chair, and thanks to Professor Balamohan, my teacher, and good afternoon to all the participants. In fact, our Professor Balamohan, he has burnt his midnight oil to make this presentation. He has provided the total and comprehensive picture of the higher education, particularly in India. And mine is not a question, it is only a comment. Instead of private universities, in some countries they call the state-owned and non-state-owned. So we can think of those words, state-owned universities and non-state-owned universities. And in US they call the for-profit, non-for-profit. Those we call today private in India is in US they call profit-oriented, and government invariably non-profit oriented. And for us, not getting the world university ranks, our culture is such that we are shortcut approach. In India, mostly in all sectors, we manage through shortcuts rather than following the total system completely from A to Z. Always we prefer from A, how can we go to Z, rather than passing all through by manipulation, by lobbying. In fact, this is not just to India, in all the countries, it varies in degree. In our case, we try to manage through shortcuts mostly, but in other countries, they are rare, particularly in US. What I say, these are all not just to India, even USA also. That means ethics in business means business. When you say private sector, invariably that is for the business only. Private hospitals, corporate hospitals, whatever we call, they are for business. Whether it is manufacturing or it is a bank or it is an university or it is an hospital, they treat it as just a business. Business means just get profit. They can't incur, they can't provide the service free, like in case of the government, because their objects are completely different. That's why in some of the minus points, our professor has mentioned many, and the new terms like the degree mills are coined from the practices of the private universities. Similarly, there are so many new terms which I can't quote all those, because business is business. Whether you manufacture soaps or you manufacture degree, for them it is the same. It is not my quote, it is the quote of one of the committees in US. Therefore, what I say, if we tighten completely the quality assurance in India at par with the advanced countries, then we can think of some universities in India would grow to the world university rankings standard. Unless otherwise, we do manipulate in all activities, whether it is hospitals also, there is the manipulation, right? That means in the health sector or education sector, whatever we call, we do the manipulation. I don't say that its manipulation is limited to India. This varies in degree. I thank Professor Balamohan for providing us extensive data as well as the comments, the total picture of the education system in India, but he covered everything in 1 hour. Had the time is given for him, not inclusively, but exclusively, he would have provided the much more detailed picture of the education sector, not only in India, even in the globe also. When we come to the ethics from the point of the education sector, there are also so many. They are also not limited to India. I'm saying whatever I say, it varies in degree only. Because we are more prone to shortcut method. I don't know where we acquired this culture, maybe under British rule, or I don't know. We acquired this culture of shortcut in everything. I observed this in many places, in the sense compared to foreign countries and our country. I find this. I found this in many cases. Even they pointed out me when I was doing my job in other countries. You do Indian shortcut from A to Z rather than following the total process in a systematic manner. Professor Garu, thank you very much for providing the detailed picture. In fact, the what I call the comparison, contrast, it would be invariably there. And the public-private partnership would be a more what you call the apt picture for the future, rather than killing the public universities with vast resources like the infrastructure and so on and so forth, rather than virtually killing them, say private-public partnership, which is an emerging one in some countries already. So we may go for it. So the idea of this one, as well as the term for our professor, what he mentioned, just my suggestion only. So with these comments, I thank Professor Balamohan immensely for giving the total picture. Had we have another session, we would have given the what you call the ethics in business sector, or minus points, plus points in both, not public sector or private sector in total, and which would be a guiding factor for the future for the policymakers, not from the just students' point of view, I'm speaking from the policymakers, so that the education would be a sustainable one, whether it is public or private, rather than killing something. Sorry, I'm closing my comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sir, just only one small point.
1 minute, sir.
1 minute. TSN Murthy.
1 minute, sir. Please. ఇక్కడ ప్రొఫెసర్ తీగలపల్లి హ్యాండ్ రేస్ చాలాసేపు అయింది. He's waiting for his turn. Professor Prasad Garu is a well-known academician and also a Gandhian, introducing a new concept called as students learning, earning while learning. It is his new concept on which he is expecting for more than 2 decades.
Prasad Garu, thank you. Randy.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Audible, not visible.
I don't want to be visible, sir. Thank you very much. No, I will be very short. Yeah. So first point is that, sir, excellent education to everybody is only a mirage. The Andamavi, as per the new education, whatever is that. Excellent education to rich only is possible. What is happening? This is first comment. I request professor to comment on it. Thank you. Number 2 is that in your classification 2 points, negatives and positive about the universities, I slightly request you to give a rethink. Number 1 point is that politically free universities, it is considered as, I mean, professor knows about it. And second thing is profit-oriented universities as a negative. And these are 2 statements I request professor to give a rethought. Thank you very much.
No, I just listed Prasad Garu. I think I will answer first Prasad Garu.
I just listed that as plus and minus, not with my opinion on it. I want to tell you.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And I worked in all my life in my state sector, government sector, and I have seen how they function with or without interference from government. I only said during my time as Vice-Chancellor at Nagarjuna, I didn't have anything government interference. I have everything, every decision that I took at Nagarjuna University was politically free. No interference whatsoever, fortunately for
This
me.
was about no student politics, I think, sir. That's
Yeah.
what I was mentioning.
Yeah, student politics also are there, but now I think the student politics earlier and student politics now, there is a lot of difference also. That I want to tell you. And Prasad Garu, I think he's a marketing man. He always was learn while you learn, which he practiced when he was a student. And Raghukumar Garu, I think you should invite him to give us a special lecture on learning.
I have been inviting him since more than 2 years.
So
Not-
no, I think
Prasad is not kind enough.
Prasad Garu, you should give a undertaking that you should speak in before June end of June.
Prasad is not kind enough, sir, to shower his
And also
love and affection on me.
And also the other Professor Subbarao was my student 50 years ago. And he worked in SK University Management Professor at Anantapur, and then Satyasai University for some time. And then he became Malawi Vice-Chancellor, then Oriental University in Indore. I think Subbarao also can give us a lecture on his impressions on ethics in education. Ethics in education is one topic that I want to request on behalf of Center for Social Dialogue, Professor Subbarao also.
We will be deeply enlightened, sir, if scholarly persons participate and enlighten the discussion.
I think Rangarao Garu is waiting with.
Rangarao Garu is waiting.
And TSN Murthy Garu also waiting.
Yes, sir. Yes. Rangarao Garu, please unmute yourself.
Sir, Professor Balamohan Das Gari ఉపన్యాసం చాలా విషయాలు కవర్ చేసింది. తక్షశిల, నలంద ఇవన్నీ కూడా మనయే అనే ఒక విషయాన్ని మళ్ళీ గుర్తు చేసింది. మరొకప్పుడు అంత ప్రాముఖ్యంలో ఉన్న వాళ్ళం ఎందుకు ఇలా అయిపోయాం, అది మనం అందరి ఆలోచించుకోవాల్సిన బాధ్యత ఒకటి. ఇంకొక విషయం ఏంటంటే, కాకతీయలో నేను బిఎస్సి, ఎంఎస్సి, పిహెచ్డి కూడా చేశాను. బియ్యాల జనార్దన్ రావు గారని పబ్లిక్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ లెక్చరర్ గారు, వారు ముఖ్యంగా ఎస్టీ వర్గాన్ని లోపల డేటా కలెక్ట్ చేసుకొని పరిశోధన చేసి ఎలా వాళ్ళ భూమి అన్యాక్రాంతమైందో చెప్పి చాలా పరిశోధన చేశారు. ఈ వరంగల్ చుట్టుపక్కల 3 గ్రామాలకు భూస్వామిగా ఉన్న వ్యక్తికి వ్యతిరేకంగా అప్పటికి పీపుల్స్ ద్వారా ఉద్యమం చాలా ఉద్ధృతిలో ఉండే, దాన్ని సపోర్ట్ చేస్తున్నా కూడా, వీళ్ళ యొక్క సపోర్ట్ ఉన్నా కూడా వాళ్ళ కుటుంబాల్లో కొందరు పాపం అన్యాయానికి గురయ్యారు. అయినా వాళ్ళకు కూడా ఈయన దయదలిచి యూనివర్సిటీ లోపల కాంట్రాక్ట్ వర్కర్స్ గా ఇప్పించారు. అదొకటి అంటే నేను పరిశీలించింది. అయితే ఆయన పాపం అర్ధంతరంగా జరిగిపోయారు. ఆయన వర్క్ తో పోల్చుకుంటే ఏమీ చెయ్యని వాళ్ళకి వాళ్ళ అందరాలు దొరికినాయి. పేర్లు చెప్పొద్దు మనం, మంచిది కాదు. అది నేను పరిశీలన ఉన్న విషయం కాబట్టి చెప్తున్నాను. అదొక్కటే కాకుండా ఇప్పుడు ఎంఎస్సి ఎప్పుడో 20 ఏళ్ల కింద 15 ఏళ్ల కింద చదువుతారు. వాళ్ళు ల్యాబ్ అసిస్టెంట్ గా ఉంటారు. వాళ్లకు ఇన్ సర్వీస్ క్యాండిడేట్ కింద లెక్చరర్ పోస్టులు ఇస్తున్నారు. వాళ్ళు ఏది చెయ్యరు, ఏది చెప్పరు, ఏది వాళ్ళతో ఉపయోగం ఉండదు. ఈ విధంగా చాలా అనర్థాలు జరుగుతున్నాయి. మనం గవర్నమెంట్ సెక్టర్ లో మనం హెల్ప్ చేద్దాం, సాయం చేద్దాం అనే దృక్పథంతో చేస్తారు. ఇంకో విషయం ఏంటంటే, మా మేనమ్మ గారు ఒక ఆయన సంజయరావు గారు అని తిరగబాటు కవుల్లో ఒకరు, ఆయన ఒకసారి మేము డిస్కషన్ చేస్తుంటే అన్నారు, అరే ఈ గాంధీ పెద్ద పొరపాటు చేశాడరా, అనవసరంగా విద్యార్థులు తీసుకొచ్చాడు రాజకీయాలకి, విద్యార్థులకు గొడవలు ఎందుకురా, రాజకీయాలు ఎందుకురా, చదువుకుంటే చాలు కదా వాళ్ళు అనే దృక్పథం కూడా ఆయన వ్యక్తపరిచారు. సో ఈ విషయాలు మీతో పంచుకుందాం. మీ వివరణ కోరదామని నేను అనుకుంటున్నాను. మీరు ఏమైనా ఎన్లైటన్ చేస్తే థ్యాంక్ యూ చేయండి.
కాకతీయ యూనివర్సిటీని గుర్తు తెచ్చారు నాకు, సంతోషం. నేను చాలా సార్లు వచ్చాను. జయశంకర్ గారు ఉన్నప్పుడు, అక్కడ శంకరయ్య గారు వైస్ రిజిస్ట్రార్ గా ఉన్నప్పుడు కాకతీయ యూనివర్సిటీ మాకు వరంగల్ వాల్టేరు డిఫరెన్స్ లేదని చెప్తాను నేను ఎప్పుడు కూడా. చాలా సంతోషం మీరు వరంగల్ యూనివర్సిటీ చదవటం. అంటే టీచర్స్ గురించి మీరు చెప్పారు కదా, ఈ ఎంఎస్సీ అంటే అది సపరేట్ ఇష్యూ అసలు ఒకటి. అన్ఫార్చునేట్ గా ఏంటంటే లోయర్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ లో, సెకండరీ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ లో, ప్రైమరీ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ లో టీచర్ కి క్వాలిఫికేషన్ బిఎడ్ ఉండాలి, ట్రైనింగ్ ఉండాలి. యూనివర్సిటీ లెవెల్లో టీచర్ కావడానికి, కాలేజ్ లెవెల్లో టీచర్ కావడానికి ఏమి అక్కర్లేదండి. నేను ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఐ బికేమ్ టీచర్ ఫర్ మై జూనియర్స్. I became a teacher for my juniors without any training. అంటే ట్రైనింగ్ అండ్ ఆన్ ది జాబ్ ఓన్లీ అనమాట ఇక్కడ. అదే మీరు ఫిన్లాండ్ కొన్ని కంట్రీస్ తీసుకుంటే చాలా ట్రైనింగ్ ఇస్తారు. అసలు యూనివర్సిటీ టీచర్స్ కి, కాలేజ్ టీచర్స్ కి ట్రైనింగ్ లేదండి. అకాడమిక్ స్టాఫ్ కాలేజ్ ఏదో మనం మోసం చేస్తున్నాం కానీ వాళ్ళకి ట్రైనింగ్ లేదు. అది ఐ థింక్ వీ షుడ్ బి ఏబుల్ టు ఆల్సో థింక్ ఆఫ్ దట్ ట్రైనింగ్ ఫర్ టీచర్స్ ఎట్ higher education. Thank you, sir.
Sir, Martin, please.
Sir, I am KSM Murthy. An excellent coverage has been made by Professor Balamohan. Now, it has covered both the public and private. I have been also throughout my service in the public sector. Later on went into private. All I am saying is getting into the fundamental thing, cost and quality. What is total quality? Total quality is achieving customer excellence by doing right things right the first time and every time. Is it being done? Now, in this particular program, the top solvers are participating. If today some improvement is to be made in the country, none others than you all only can give some sort of ideas and suggestions. How do we do it? We are in a competitive situation. It's true that this is all happening. This is true. It is not only an education, not only this. Many times I feel when I look at the pass marks, I will say in a 10, 11, 12, 63%. That means 37% fail. But what is the cost to the government? Whose money is that? Can we afford? Can the nation afford? All these things are there and all that. It is good. Lot of useful statistics are presented. But now is concerned, the top people being present, how to come out with some ideas and give to the nation, they will be benefited. But once again, thanks to Professor Balamohan Garu for the super coverage. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Dr. Muralidhar garu. Dr. Muralidhar garu.
సార్ నమస్తే సార్, బాలమోహన్ దాస్ గారు. ఎక్సలెంట్ ప్రెజెంటేషన్. దీని గురించి the best part of the presentation is it has come in the end, and the second thing is there is so much good in the worst and so much bad in the best. Private colleges లలో ఏ రకంగా ఉంటాయి అన్న మాకు కొంత డిఫరెంట్ స్కూల్ ఆఫ్ థాట్ నుంచి మేమందరం వచ్చినాము. నేను, రఘుకుమార్ గారు, వీళ్ళందరం కూడా ప్రైవేట్ కాలేజెస్ అని అంటే అవి మంచిది కాదన్నటువంటి స్కూల్ ఆఫ్ థింకింగ్ నుంచి వచ్చినటువంటి మాకు దాంట్లో ఉన్న బోలెడు విషయాలు అనేటివి చెప్పినారు. అయితే నాకు ఉన్నటువంటిది ఏంటంటే సార్, మీరు చెప్తున్నటువంటి విషయాలనేవి కూడా ఐఎమ్ ట్రైంగ్ టు ఎక్స్ట్రాపులేట్ వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ హ్యావ్ బీన్ స్పీకింగ్ టు అవర్ మెడికల్ కాలేజెస్. ఈ మెడికల్ కాలేజెస్ కూడా ప్రైవేట్ లోనే బోలెడు మెడికల్ కాలేజెస్ వచ్చినాయి, గవర్నమెంట్ సెక్టర్ లో కూడా వచ్చినాయి. మీరన్న ఒక స్ట్రైకింగ్ పాయింట్ ఏమనంటే, కనీసం ఇక్కడ ఈ బిఎడ్లు, ఎంఎడ్లు ఉన్నటువంటి వాళ్ళు స్టడీస్ అన్నటువంటిది చెప్తారు. మా మెడికల్ ప్రొఫెషన్ లో ఆ రకమైనటువంటి ట్రైనింగ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ అన్నటువంటిది
అబ్సల్యూట్లీ దిల్. వాడు అసిస్టెంట్ ప్రొఫెసర్ అయితే మాత్రము అతనికి స్పీకింగ్ ఎబిలిటీస్ ఉన్నాయా లేదా అన్న దాంతో సంబంధం లేకుండా, టీచింగ్ ఎబిలిటీస్ ఉన్నాయా అన్న దాంతో సంబంధం లేకుండా పిల్లలకు స్టడీస్ చెప్పడము అన్నటువంటిది ఎంత నిరాశాజనకంగా ఉంటుంది అంటే ఆ టాపిక్స్ అన్నటువంటిది వాళ్ళకి వినబుద్ధి కాదు. ఇట్లాంటి ప్రత్యేకమైనటువంటి ట్రైనింగ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ కాన్స్పిక్యుయస్లీ ల్యాకింగ్ ఇన్ అవర్ మెడికల్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్. ఇట్లాంటి సిచ్యువేషన్ అనేది ఒకటి ఉంది సార్. ఇక దాని తర్వాత ప్రైవేట్ ఈవెన్ గవర్నమెంట్ సెక్టర్ లో కూడా బోలెడ్ మెడికల్ కాలేజెస్ వస్తున్నాయి. కొద్దిగా పేర్లు అనకూడదు కానీ చాలా మంది ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ వాళ్ళు వీళ్ళు ఉన్నారు. వాళ్ళని చూస్తే నీరసం అనిపిస్తుంది. పిల్లల్ని ఇప్పుడు మీరు రిటైర్ అయ్యి ఇంత కాలం అయిన తర్వాత కూడా ఇంత ఎంతూజియాస్టిక్ గా ఎట్లయితే ఉన్నారో వాళ్ళు వర్క్ లో సీట్ లో కూర్చున్నప్పుడు ఆ రకమైనటువంటి ఎంతూజియాజం అన్నటువంటిది ఎగ్జిబిట్ చేయలేకపోతే వాళ్ళు పిల్లల్ని ఏ రకంగా ఉత్సాహంగా ఉంచగలరు అన్నది అదొకటి. ఎథిక్స్, మారల్స్ వీటి గురించి అసలు మాట్లాడరు. ఓన్లీ ప్రొఫెషనల్, ఓన్లీ టెక్నికల్ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ తప్ప మిగతా విషయాల గురించి, సొసైటీ గురించి వాటి జోలికి పోరు. మీరు అన్నట్టు మీరు చేయాల్సినటువంటి ఒక అద్భుతమైనటువంటి కార్యక్రమం సార్. మీరు చేయగలిగినటువంటిది ఏమనంటే మీరు చెప్పిన కాన్సెప్ట్ ఈ పబ్లిక్ ప్రైవేట్ పార్ట్నర్షిప్ ఈ రెండింటిని మీరు ఏమైనా జుడిషియస్ గా బ్లెండ్ చేయగలిగితే, అట్లాంటి యాంగిల్ ను మనము గవర్నమెంట్ మెడికల్ కాలేజెస్ ఇవ్వగలిగితే, ఇప్పుడు నాకు బోలెడు విషయాలు ఉన్నాయి చెప్పనీకి, కానీ నాకు ఆ ఎంట్రీ అన్నటువంటిది ఉండదు. బికాస్ ఇట్ హ్యాపెన్స్ టు బి గవర్నమెంట్ కాలేజ్ అట్ వనపర్తి. దాని తర్వాత ప్రైవేట్ కాలేజెస్లలో ఉన్నటువంటి చాలా లిమిటేషన్స్ ఏమనంటే వాళ్ళని మీ చదువు మీరు చదువుకోండి, ఈ సొసైటీ తోటి మీకు సంబంధం లేదు అని చెప్పడానికే ఈ యూనివర్సిటీలు అవన్నీ కూడా. దాంట్లో భాగంగానే మీకు పాలిటిక్స్ వద్దు, పాలిటిక్స్ అన్నటువంటి వాటికి మీరు దూరంగా ఉండాలా అన్న ఇలాంటి అంశాలు అన్నటువంటివి. ఎందుకంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ బేసికలీ ప్రాఫిట్ ఓరియంటెడ్ కాబట్టి వీటి రెండింటినీ మీలాంటి అద్భుతమైనటువంటి వ్యక్తులు బ్లెండ్ చేయగలిగితే, ప్రభుత్వానికి సజెషన్స్ ఇవ్వగలిగితే, అటు ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ గవర్నమెంట్ కానీ ఇటు తెలంగాణ గవర్నమెంట్ కానీ ఇట్లాంటి పనులు చేయగలిగితే చాలా బాగుంటుంది అనేది నాకు ఉన్నటువంటి అభిప్రాయం సార్. నా అభిప్రాయాలు షేర్ చేసుకోవడానికి ఈ అవకాశం కల్పించినటువంటి రవికుమార్ గారికి ధన్యవాదాలు.
థ్యాంక్ యూ డాక్టర్ మురళీధర్ గారు.
సార్
డాక్టర్ గారు, అన్ని మెడికల్ కాలేజెస్ చెడ్డగా లేవు, అన్ని మెడికల్ కాలేజెస్ బాగా లేవండి. అందరూ టీచర్స్ చెడ్డవాళ్ళు కాదు, అందరు స్టూడెంట్స్ మంచివాళ్ళు కాదు. అన్ఫార్చునేట్ గా నేను ఆంధ్ర మెడికల్ కాలేజీలో మేనేజ్మెంట్ ఫర్ మెడికల్ స్టూడెంట్స్ అని ఇచ్చాను, టాపిక్ లెక్చర్ ఇచ్చాను ఆంధ్ర మెడికల్ కాలేజ్ విశాఖపట్నంలో. లాంగ్ ఎగో, అది ఒక 6-7 ఏళ్ల క్రితం అయి ఉంటుంది. నేను ఇచ్చాను. మీరు అన్నట్లు మంచి అన్ని చోట్ల ఉంటుంది, అన్ని మంచి కలపగలిగితే మనం బాగుంటుంది, అదొకటే. కానీ మీరు చెప్పినట్టుగా అది చేయగలవా లేదా అంటే, నన్ను మిమ్మల్ని చీఫ్ మినిస్టర్ చేస్తే చేస్తాం. నేనేమో ఆంధ్రాలోను, మీరు తెలంగాణలో. అది అవ్వదు సార్. ఎందుకంటే అది అవ్వని పరిస్థితి. ఎందుకంటే పాలిటిక్స్ హెస్ బికమ్ సో అన్ఫార్చునేట్ ఇన్ దిస్ కంట్రీ. వీఆర్ నాట్ రిసెప్టివ్ టు గుడ్ సజెషన్స్. పీపుల్ ఆర్ నాట్ రిసెప్టివ్ టు గుడ్ సజెషన్స్ అన్ఫార్చునేట్లీ. బట్ అలా అని మనం చెప్పడం మానకూడదు, చెప్తూనే ఉందాం. వాళ్ళు ఎప్పుడు మంచి వాళ్ళు వస్తే వింటారు, ఎప్పుడైనా చూద్దాము. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్ ఫర్ యువర్ కామెంట్స్. తర్వాత మూర్తి గారు ఆయన 87, 85 ప్లస్ అండి. రవికుమార్ గారు ఆయన స్టీల్ ప్లాంట్ లో రిటైర్ అయ్యారు. తర్వాత ప్రైవేట్ స్టీల్ లో పనిచేశారు. ఆయన నంబర్ మీకు పంపిస్తాను, మన దాంట్లో యాడ్ చేసుకుందాము. ఆయన ఇక్కడి నుంచి మనం ప్రతి సాటర్డేకి రమ్మని అడుగుదాం అండి.
తప్పనిసరి ఇప్పుడే రిక్వెస్ట్ చేస్తున్నాం సార్. మీ నంబర్ తీసుకుంటాం, మిమ్మల్ని యాడ్ చేస్తాం. మీరే కాదు, ఇవాళ అనుకోకుండా ఇవాళ అనేక కారణాలతో కొత్త వాళ్ళు చాలా మంది వచ్చారు. అందరూ రిక్వెస్ట్ చేస్తున్నాను.
సుబ్బారావు గారు కూడా, సుబ్బారావు
మీ అందరి నంబర్లు తీసుకుంటారండి. కైండ్లీ పార్టిసిపేట్ ఇన్ ద డైలాగ్ అండ్ మేక్ ఇట్ ఎ సక్సెస్ఫుల్ థింగ్. హెల్ప్ us, guide us to do better. ఇప్పుడు ఇంకెవరైనా మాట్లాడతారండి? ముక్తేశ్వరరావు గారు ఉన్నారు. ముక్తేశ్వరరావు గారు
వినపడుతుందండి? డాక్టర్ బాలమోహన్ దాస్ గారు నమస్కారం. చాలా బాగుందండి.
నమస్కారం సార్.
చాలా అంటే యూ గేవ్ అస్ ఎ డ్రోనియల్ వ్యూ, ఏరియల్ చాలా అంటే మొత్తము we could get the whole perspective of the establishment and running of various institutions.
అందుకనే టీచర్లు ద్రోణాచార్యులు అంటారు సార్. ద్రోణాచార్యులు అంటారు, డ్రోనియల్ వ్యూ అన్నారు మీరు. ద్రోణాచార్యులు అందువల్లే.
Correct. So I have 2-3 important observations to make. I don't know whether I'm correct or not.
సార్ ఇక్కడ నుంచి నేను నాకు పర్మిషన్ ఇస్తే రికార్డింగ్ ఆపుతాను సార్. 1 hour 40 minutes అవుతుంది. మళ్ళీ డిఫికల్ట్ అవుతుంది రికార్డింగ్ కి.
Right.